For 2016 Golden Spur recipient Dave Edmiston, 21st century ranching is a combination of tradition, discipline, vigilance, faith, and cutting-edge technology.
Well, as you just kind of look around, you see the beauty of God's creation here. And then you throw an old cow out there and some calves, and you see them grow. And I guess you might say it's in my blood. My grandparents were in agriculture before them, and so when you're exposed to that and you're around that, it's something that it's hard to get out of. The ability to choose whether you make it or not, you're the decision maker, not someone telling you that you need to do this or that. You make it on your own.
The Edmiston family land is located just outside of Brady on the edge of the Texas Hill Country. Agriculture has been in the family since the 1800s, when his ancestors first came to Texas. 2 centuries later, the grandson of those ranching pioneers is the 39th recipient of the National Golden Spur Award. Dave and his wife Peggy raised their 2 daughters, Michelle and Celeste, in the family's agricultural traditions. They endured uncertain times, facing market volatility and the wrath of Mother Nature. They raised sheep, goats, and cattle. They rode horses and took care of the land and its wildlife. For both of them, ranching has been a labor of love, not entirely free of hard times, but a calling just the same.
It was just a neat thing to see how he made sure that our girls loved the land like he does, and it was fun to watch them grow up knowing what their dad knows.
Well, the land is very special when you farm or ranch it because it's how you make your living. You could either be good to it or you can be bad to it. If you love the land, respect the land, and understand what the land can do and not push it to the outer limits, it will take care of you. Along with the good Lord blesses you for the rain every now and then. When you grow up on a ranch, you grow up with a place that was loved by 2 generations before yourself. And you see that as a young child growing up and learn to respect and love what you have. Make it the best of what you have. And then when that time comes for you to pass it on, you want to be in better condition where your children or your heirs could enjoy that and make it even better than what you tried to do.
Ranching is tough, and Dave says it's easy to get lost in the daily decisions and the hard but satisfying work. For many, this is enough. Dave Edmiston, however, was frustrated by the many decisions made far away that impacted him. He was not one to leave that in the hands of others.
I've never have been one to sit on the sideline. I like to be involved. I like to be able to sit down and talk common sense with individuals that have that responsibility in making those decisions that affect thousands or millions of people. They need to hear our story. We need to be advocates of our story. It's my time to do what I can for those that come behind me that will have the opportunity and have the freedoms and those property rights that I experience and so love that as we all do.
Reaching out for that leadership role, Dave served on the Cattlemen's Beef Board and with other organizations. He was Vice President of Texas Farm Bureau. He represented Farm Bureau on the Texas Beef Council Board and became chairman at a critical time.
I got to be chairman of the Texas Beef Council at a very unique time. It was a time that we were beginning to have discussions about the state checkoff. It was a very strong thing, productive thing for Texas, where we could continue to grow that demand for beef and also bring profit back to producers.
Being part of decisions in the beef business has shown Dave the importance of public perception. People are watching, and he understands that it's vital for all ranchers everywhere to get it right.
There's always in any industry those that will maybe stretch it a little bit too far, and it's very unfortunate. But I think as we look at the whole of our agriculture, we're responsible stewards of the land. It's important to take care of good animal husbandry, because if we don't, when those animals go across the scales, your reward's not going to be great. You want that animal to look good, feel good, go through and have that product that when that consumer sits down and has that steak, they realize that there was a lot of work, love, and time and care went into producing this product. And so we'll always have those that like to throw stones at the glass house, and you hope most of them will bounce off. Some might crack the window, but there's enough of us doing those things that are right that will maintain that integrity and that strong sense that we are producing the best product in this country.
For one thing, our girls respect life, and they know that it can come or go in a heartbeat. They watched little baby animals being born. They also saw older, aged animals suffer with illnesses. They saw their dad care for the animals when they needed it. They definitely had a way of looking at life that you don't always get when you live in town.
Dave Edmiston was a natural-born teacher and leader for his family and those who became like family. He was a teacher and a coach for many years, inspiring young athletes on and off the field. Like many others before him, he finds the discipline of athletics fits nicely with his philosophy of ranching and the land.
A lot of your discipline as far as the coaching is to have great teams, you have to have great people around you, and you have to be disciplined. Everyone going with the same goal. In the ranching, you're that team, you're that coach. And the role you play is sometimes a budgetary discipline and managing that budget where you can continue to develop and get better each day. And your bottom line, you're trying to score, and the score is you want to go across those scales with weight, to be that desirable product that buyers want to have. That's always a challenge. Do we have enough water, enough feed, the prices? I mean, it's an ongoing thing, and it's one that you have to stay on top of.
As a small boy, he rode a horse with a lead rope tied to his father's saddle. Now he's an industry leader with access to decision makers across the globe. Dave Edmiston has been eyewitness to change, innovation, and globalization. Ranching is done locally, but it depends on the world.
We have a global market now. 96% of our beef goes overseas. We've gone from maybe a closed market system to now a global market that plays a real impact on the prices you get for those calves that you sell.
Regulations is the hardest thing to fight. I think it's worse than drought. A drought is very devastating. But when you have a regulation that's there for years after years, it doesn't go away. And so I'm concerned for my heirs, my children, the regulations of trying to control our water through the different things that have come up through the different organizations, federal organizations that are not productive for agriculture and for this nation.
Dave and Peggy are acutely aware of the impressive names on the list of 39 Golden Spur Award recipients.
Yes, I'm proud of him, and it has been very humbling when you stop and think about your name being in that list of other individuals. And I think that probably what makes it even more special to both of us is that we just had no idea. We were just going about our business and doing what we thought we needed to do, and Dave too, and it was very humbling.
Well, after I picked myself up off the floor, I thought, what an honor to have, that there were probably others out there that were well deserving of this honor to be a representative. I was just overwhelmed. I still am overwhelmed. It's almost kind of like a dream, and one of the highest honors that you can receive in the ranching industry, to be selected by your peers and organizations that you would represent. It's one of those words cannot describe the feeling one would have when saying you're going to be the recipient of the Golden Spur Award.
Dave Edmiston of Brady, Texas, the 2016 recipient of the Golden Spur.